Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for a little championship night here at the dirt track at Charlotte. I'm Zach Chapman with ShaggyTV, and well, I'm just going to throw it out there right away. If I sound different than normal, well, half of my mouth is numb. I left the dentist about 35 minutes ago, so I wasn't too sure I was going to be doing this, but then obviously Marty's been having some computer issues, but this dentist appointment was already scheduled and was much needed. So I'm thinking around 8:25, 8:30, we're going to get the normal sounding Shaggy back. But this first race here, first one of the night, this could get a pretty interesting here. And it's already interesting as we take a look at the points coming into tonight. Sam Bachman has a 16-point lead over his teammate in the 32, Anthony Morano. It's going to be a duel to the finish between those two guys tonight. Let's see here. We'll see here. And, sorry, I was taking a look at the broadcasters chat. As you know, you guys are on my channel this evening. Patrick does so much, man, and he's got so many kids. But tonight, the stream key wasn't working, and we were in a pinch to try to get this thing up and couldn't figure it out. So, as you see, we're on my end here this evening, possibly for the Rebels race, the first sprint car race of the evening. After this one, we'll swap it over. We'll see what happens. And like I say, to me, I sound so much different. Hopefully to you guys, man, I don't sound much different. But I do not like the way I sound right now with half the mouth. Not feeling My apologies there. I'm sure I cut out in the middle of talking. Now my mic must have unplugged a little bit, so make sure that's in there good and tight. As Lackey comes around, he was P2 lap number 1. Is he going to improve this second time around? The driver in the 91 comes across the line. Going to stay P2 as Harold Klump, man. He comes by 16:19. Good lap for the driver of the 2. Harold Klump showing some speed here. The first race Monday night, we've got 28 drivers here tonight, so we're going to have a B main, most definitely. 4 drivers will go home as of now. Let's see what 100 grand's doing. Nope, he just pulled off the racetrack. Do we have anybody else out there? Kelly Wheeler. We've got Kelly Wheeler going out here on the racetrack. Clay Christopherson just ran purple sector 1, green 2. What does this mean for putt-putt? It means P5 for Clay Christopherson. Let's see here what the driver of the 110 can do. Kelly Wheeler, he comes across the line. P11 for Kelly Wheeler, not too shabby. Going to find himself in a good invert spot as the time runs out. And that's hilarious, Roger. I am slobbering. I just wiped some away. Right as I look over to that chat, man, I totally, man, I am slobbering. It's kind of funny. But we're going to have a good time. Let's take a look here at the starting grid for heat race number 1. We've got 10 drivers. Row 5 on the outside, the 114 of Brennan Lacey to the inside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Row number 4 to the outside, the 113 of Keith Jackson to the inside, Butters, Jason Butterfield. Row 3 to the outside, Ryan Banks to the inside, the Philly Flyer, Trevor Gearix. Trevor Gearix. Row 2 to the outside, the Deuce of Harold Klump. To the inside, the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row 1, starting on the outside, Brian Dickens, the dirt track bank driver. To the inside, starting on the pole, Mike Brewer. Now, Brian Dickens, man, he's already won a couple features this season. And, well, we brought up the wrong one. We got the top one up there. I may have to mix in that top one every now and then. Just a little bit of surprise, just keep everybody guessing. I do like it. It's just a little different. As they roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. 8 to play in the clay here at the dirt track at Charlotte as the green flag flies. Winner's going to start on the pole for tonight's feature. Brian Dickens trying to gain momentum on the outside, and that's where you want to be. Big run for the 122 as he takes over the lead going into 3. Joseph Grandy looking for 3rd, but looky who on the outside, the Deuce, your pole winner, Harold Klump. He's showing he's got some speed, and he's going to have to use it. Got to drive his way on up through the field as the Philly Flyer tries to get himself into that 4th and final transfer spot. We are going to have to run that B main tonight. You never know what can happen. You don't want to find yourself on the outside looking in here at the dirt track at Charlotte. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is one of the better tracks I think we race at. A lot of room to pass. You can get it done, but you just don't want to start yourself on the back foot. And if Trevor can't get in the top 4 and punch his ticket right away, that's what he's going to do. But he tries to throw that slide job on the 518, not able to finish it. Is Joseph Grandy holding on for now, and here comes Butters in that 93. Jason Butterfield, he made a big run there coming down the backstretch. Anxious to see what he does this time in 1 and 2. Not as good of a run, and well, the Philly Flyer, he's running out of time because Brian Dickens, he's getting 3 to go this time by, and the 122, he is all alone out front. See if we can't hop off the gearbox of this thing. You can just see. Well, now you can't because of how much you rotate the car. But big gap. And as we go to Joseph Grandy, Trevor Gearix here, he's reeling him in, but just not enough time. And Joseph Grandy, you got to know he's going to protect for this final lap as the white flag flies. Brian Dickens doesn't have to be perfect here. He can even hiccup a couple times, I think. Over a second lead here he's built up in 7 laps. final time through 3 and 4. Brian Dickens, welcome to the pole as he wins heat race number 1. Mike Brewer, Harold Klump, and Joseph Grandy punch their ticket. Trevor Giroux, Jason Butterfield, Ryan Banks, Bob DeGood, Keith Jackson, and Brennan Lacey to the B main. As we get ready here, we'll take a look at our starting grid. Heat race number 2. And, well, you know, shame on me here. We're here because of top-notch trucking, and nobody even had to tell me to do that. Shame on me. I know better than that. I normally don't do Monday nights, so top-notch trucking, that's my apologies here. That's coming from Shaggy's heart. Without you, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't be able to broadcast this open 358s here for our Monday Night Madness. But let's take a look at that starting grid. Devo rounding out the field. Donovan Ross starting P9, row 4 to the outside. Michael Vecchio to the inside. The Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Row number 3 to the outside. Matt Barber to the inside. The 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 2 to the outside. The 91 of Chad Lackey to the inside. The 051 of Putt Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row number 1 to the outside, Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218. And starting on the pole, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. We knew the doubledness was coming. I mean, if you've ever heard me call a broadcast, you know that overlay is going to stack. And you know, I don't know why it does it. But the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 8 to play in the clay here. Heat race number 2 is underway as Kelly Wheeler drops the hammer. Superman trying to get that run on the outside, but Kelly feeds him a little dinner, and Putt Putt goes right to the inside. A 2-for-1 special coming out of 2, and Clay Christopherson looking to set the pace here early, but he's got to get up and shut the door because Superman's got the cape flapping in the breeze. Looking at Kurt Schatzer. Big head of steam here coming down the backstretch. What does Clay Christopherson do? Oh, we see a slide job there behind for third. Almost gets into Superman, but whoa, Kurt Schatzer with a gust of wind there coming out of 4. I mean, he was 2 car lengths back, and he was your leader at the line. Clay Christopherson, he's got to slide up in front. There he goes. Kurt to the inside. They almost make a little bit of contact. Kurt stays down low. We get another slide job through 1. Here comes Chad Lackey. Started 4th, up to 3rd. Remember, with the invert, that means he was your 2nd fastest qualifier. And Chad Lackey, man, he's ready to mix it up with these 2 boys up front. Clay stuck on the outside. No way to counter underneath now because he's got the 91 to the inside. And that's exactly what Superman wants to see here as we roll through 3 and 4. 3 to go this time by. Chad looks to the inside. Kelly Wheeler trying to make sure he stays in this show. Right now he's 4th. But you're in that bubble spot, and he's got the 16 of the Barber. Matt Barber trying to cut his way in to the top 4. Only 2 laps to go here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Fastest lap of the race last time by for Superman as he is really letting this thing go. Kelly Wheeler gets into the outside wall. Now the Barber trying to trim his way to the inside. Here's the white flag flies. 1 more lap to go. Superman coming out of 2. Clear racetrack through 3 and 4 for the final time, and Kurt Schatzer's going to start on the outside of the front row for tonight's feature. Clay Christopherson, Chad Lackey, Kelly Wheeler to the A main, the Barber, Randy Shreves, Michael Vecchio, Jeff Barker, and Donovan Ross to the B main. Let's go ahead and take a look at that starting grid here for your 3rd and final heat race here this evening. Rounding out the field in that 6 machine, Corey Schartzer. He's going to roll off P9, row 4 to the outside. The 883 of Bud Molyneux to the inside, the 143 of Scott Zeneker. Row 3 to the outside, the 88 of Soupy, Dan McLaren to the inside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Row 2 to the outside, the 79 of Dino Dean Reynolds to the inside. Well, heck, actually, an FTM top 4. This isn't what the boys wanted when they set out for qualifying. It's the inside Scott Rayome, and Well, row number 1, they got a set of teammates up the road. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, to the outside, and starting on the pole, the 007 of Sam Bachman. As we pace around, we bring that up, we refresh your end at least, so you guys can see. And the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 3 is underway here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Patrick, you don't say sorry about anything. You do more for this league than anyone could imagine. You are the absolute man. You're definitely, I say that all the time, but dude, you're one of the unsung heroes of this place. You really keep it rolling, and you don't get the credit you deserve. But battle for the lead here. Morano to the lead for a split second, but Sam Bachman right back where he wants to be. The 007 counters back to the inside, and well, with Patrick Spengler saying that the new code is posted, what we will do is after the feature here this evening, we'll keep the race all posted so I can send it over and put it to them on their side. But we'll shut it down here instead of running commercials, and then we'll bring it up again for the 358s, or I mean for the 360 sprint cars, the Rebels. But 5 laps to go here. We still got the FTM top 4. Dan McLaren is trying to battle his way on through. Bud Molyneux, though, he started 8th up to 5th. He's got the thing on the move early, but Scotty, he's up the road a little bit, and I don't know if Slide Job's going to let him yank on that chain too hard as Dino goes to the outside. Dino trying to find a way around that teammate of his in the 32, and Dino going to play as nice as he can, but boy, oh boy, you got to go out and beat this man in the 32 when you can, and Dino using every inch of this racetrack on the outside through 1 and 2. But Anthony just so smooth there in the middle, exiting off that he can just go up, shut the door, and Dino really kind of trapped here in 3rd place for the moment. Dan reeling back in the 883 of Bud Molyneux as Gary Offit throwing a little slide job. Corey Schartzer floats up. They make a little bit of contact. Offit up and around. Big hit for Corey Schartzer. Up and over, up and over. On the lid as the white flag flies. Final time around. Hopefully the boys disconnect themselves. Go to pit road because this could be interesting. Final time through 3 and 4. Sam Bachman holds on to win heat race number 3. Anthony Morano, Dean Reynolds, Scott Rayom on FTM top 4 transfer party. Dan McLaren, Bud Molyneux, Scott Zeneker, Corey Schartzer, and Gary Offit to the B main. I can feel the feeling coming back. Going a little faster than I thought it would, to be honest with you. Thought I was going to be number than this much longer. The lips are coming back to us. So we take a look here for our B main. We've got 16 drivers. 12 going to make it to the show. Brennan Lacey didn't grit up for his heat race. Not sure if he's here, but he's going to round out the field on the outside of row 8 to the inside, Corey Schartzer. Row 7 to the outside, Devo Donovan Ross to the inside, the 113 of Keith Jackson. Row 6 to the outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. To the inside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Row 5 to the outside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. To the inside, the 143 of Scott Zeneker. Row 4 to the outside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio. To the inside, the 76 of Ryland Banks. Row 3 to the outside, the 883 of Bud Molyneux. To the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row number 2 to the outside, Jason Butterfield in the 93. To the inside, the 88 of Soupy Dan McLaren. Row 1 for your B main to the outside, the Barber, Matt Barber in the 16, and starting on pole, the 075 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Gearix. I'm never going to stop that, Trevor. That will never stop. It will never stop. You should have never shared that clip, and I'm going to do it until the day I die. As the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. 10 laps to punch your ticket here into the A main. Top 12 going to make it. Let's go back to that 12th and final transfer spot. It is the Brewerton Beast for the moment, but there's a little contact. Scott Zeneker peeks to the outside there, and he gets around. Now the 143 And that white, yellow, and black. Oh, 4 wide! Scotty's got a lift off. Jeff goes around, getting on the binders. Didn't want to spin anybody out. And Jeff Barker, oh, man. Not the way he wanted to end the season here with Championship Night. It's Keith Jackson right now. He finds himself as the odd man out. 13th, Corey Schartzer, P12. Last man into the show, but he doesn't want to be there. He's going to look to the not inside of the 94. Gary Offit falls back to that 12th and final transfer spot. There's 7 laps to go. Plenty of time for Keith Jackson to come up and make one more run at this thing. As you see all over the back of the 94, Gary Offit, he looks to the inside. Keith Jackson slide job through 3 and 4. He holds on and he moves into P12, but the 94 of Gary Offit not going anywhere just yet. Takes one more peek back to the inside as the battle rages on ahead. Devo to the outside, Corey Schartzer to the inside. Let's take a peek at what's going on up front. A lot of behaving up front. Gierix with about a half a second lead over the Barber. Butters there hanging on in third for the moment, but Dan McLaren with a big run on that top shelf. He's going to have something to say to that about that at the line, and Jason Butterfield tucking into fourth for now. Can he get up the slot in line behind the driver of the 88? Doesn't want to at the moment. Stays low, like in the bottom of the racetrack here. Let's go back to 12th here. Devo in that 12th and final transfer spot. Is battling hard here with Keith. Oh, no! Oh, Keith Jackson going to pay the ultimate price for that one. And Keith Jackson minding his own business there, P11. Corey Schartzer! Oh, man, maybe a little payback there through 3 and 4. And oh, boy, guess who is back in 12th, the Brewerton Beast? Oh, if he keeps this thing straight, he's going to be in the B and make it to the A main as the white flag flies. Oh, no, one more trip around. Scott Zeneker goes to the outside. He's got a broken race car. This could get hectic. Going to keep it up against that outside wall. Maybe, I don't know. But the checkered flag waves, and it's looking like it's going to be Giroux, Barber, McLaren, Butterfield, Shreves, Vecchio, Molyneux, DeGood, Banks, Schartzer, Jeff Barker, and Gary Offit. Zeneker, Jackson, Devo, and Lacey. Boy, oh boy. Gonna have to come back again next year here, unloaded in the sprint cars. But we're gonna take a short break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your 358 modified feature. Stick around. As we're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network for your top-notch trucking 358 modified feature here. Like I was telling you guys earlier, I am going to swap over, so we'll see the stream shut down and we'll go back over to the Coast to Coast page after this one. But while I have all you lovely people here, man, if I could trouble you to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to build up this channel a little bit. I do a lot of other series, but I do a lot of like 3-man series where it's not necessarily on my page. But trying to build up that brand a little bit. So if you like what you hear, maybe hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. Let's take a look here. The Top Notch Trucking 358 Modified feature. Row number 12 to the outside, the 94 of Gary Offit to the inside, the Brewerton Beast in the 513, Jeff Barker. Row 11 to the outside, Corey Schartzer in the 6 to the inside, the 76 of Ryland Banks. Row 10 to the outside, the 7 of Bob DeGood to the inside, the 883 of Bud Molyneux. Row 9 to the outside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio to the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Let's see here if we can get that to work right. No, of course we're not. That's why I was being quiet. I was trying to number time it. Can't. Row 9 to the outside, the 247 of Michael Vecchio to the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 8 to the outside, Butters, Jason Butterfield to the inside, Soupy Dan McLaren. Row 7, Matt Barber to the outside, Trevor Giroux to the inside. Row 6 to the outside, Scott Rayome to the inside, Kelly Wheeler. Row 5 to the top shelf, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy to the inside, Dean Reynolds. Row 4 to the outside, Chad Lackey in the 91 to the inside, the deuce of Harold Klump. Row 3 to the outside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. He's one of your championship contenders. To the inside, the 051 of Putt-Putt, Clay Christopherson. Row 3 to the outside, Mike Brewer to the inside. Your current point leader in the 007, Sam Bachman. Row number 1 for your top-notch trucking 358 modifieds here at the dirt track at Charlotte. To the outside, Superman in the 218, Kurt Schatzer. And starting on the pole, the 122 of Brian Dickens as we pace around through 3 and 4. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 30 laps to play in the clay at the dirt track at Charlotte. We're underway. Superman gets the door shut right away by his teammate there in the 122, Brian Dickens. But Sam Bachman going where no man's gone before. That low through 1 and 2. Welcome to the lead, Sam Bachman. Big move here early, and he's got championship trophy dreams here in the 007. Nobody's going to rip that thing from his hands tonight. As we come across that starter stripe, man, look at it, 3, almost 4 wide as we file out throughout the racetrack. Let's see some of that action. Dino looking to the inside here. And we clicked the wrong driver, but there's Dino looking to the inside of the 32s, then the inside of another one of their teammates. I know we got some of the Brew crew out there watching. That's Mike Brewer in the 39, and Clay Christopherson, man, going to try to imitate his teammate there in the 007, nice and low. Anthony Morano, couldn't tell if he got to the outside wall. Scott Rayome's bouncing to the wall. We're under caution for the first time here at the dirt track at Charlotte. 3 cars piled up in 3 and 4. And let's take a look, and we're going to rewind this. I like seeing the aftermath. You see those guys pushing each other. So somebody not happy with someone. Let's find, so it starts, it looks like, with Joseph Grandy. Let me find him on my list here. So actually, there's a little contact up in front. If you can see, Anthony Morano is going to get a little bump here from the 91 of Lackey. Just a little bit, no harm, no foul. Gets into the side of the 79. But it does slow things down, and Lackey comes back up the racetrack then. And that's where the contact. Grandy was trying to find a way on by. Nothing Joe could do about that, man. Just gets forced up into the outside wall, comes back down. The 11 and the 93, or the 110 and the 93, nowhere to go as well either. And Scott Rayome was what I thought, I looked like, in the way we saw him kick sideways, maybe he was in Not the cause of it, that's not what I'm saying, but definitely involved heavier than he was. And Scott, lucky from what I saw, got out of that pretty scot-free, actually. So right now, Sam Bachman, man, he likes that inside, and he gets the start there. So advantage to that 007. And man, oh man, you know, when he gets in here later, I better not jinx him. He likes to crack that whip, man. You'll hear it crack off. Hopefully we get a chance to talk to this man. No, not many more people deserve to bring home the hardware than this guy. As the green flag flies, we're back ready to play here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Oh, Brewer looking to the inside here, the 51. That's his teammate, Clay Christopherson. You got to play nice when you're looking for real estate down there. And right now, you know, speaking of me sounding fine, well, you know, that 39 dude, he looks pretty fine down there on the inside. Mike Brewer, he wasn't finding the success on the outside earlier, and now looking back on the inside, he's almost back to where he started. Mike Brewer, man, pulling a page out of that FTM playbook. They are so well at running that inside. It just translates the whole way up and down through that team. Bud Molyneux looking to take a peek here under the 747 of Michael Vecchio. They're running behind the 56 of Randy Shreves, who right now trying to look to the inside of the 444. Scott Rayome maybe thinking about maybe taking a peek. He's got enough room. He's on the bottom as we see the 16 of the Barber, man. He cuts it close there through 3 and 4. Gets to the outside. Then we're getting in front of the deuce of Harold Klump. Let's take a peek back up front. Battle starting to heat up for P2 as Putt, man, he's just not going away, but either is that top shelf. And Sam Bachman and the boys up there beating it down. Clay running the inside all by himself right now up in that top 5. First driver, to jump on board is the driver running P6, Mike Brewer. And now he got the Shaggy curse, man. I said how well he was running down there, and now the bottom of the racetrack, it's just disappeared here on some of these drivers. Clay Christopherson not having the success that he had in the early stages, and I think it's going to be nobody's running it yet, okay? But there's something, and I'm either going to sound like a dummy here or a genius if they end up running it. But do not be surprised if in 3 and 4 we start seeing drivers throw the slider line. You develop a lot of grit there in the center of the racetrack sometimes, even though it looks real shiny. With drivers running the bottom and drivers running way up top, you kind of develop another little cushion there in the center. And if you can find that thing with 10 to go, slide job for the lead. Here comes Brian Dickens trying to put that dirt track bank 122 on the front row, or in the lead, excuse me. But right now, Sam Bachman, too much of a drive off of 4, able to cut right back to the lead. Now he's going to go down. He's going to pinch the 122 a little bit. Now, that could mean a number of things there. Okay, so he's able to hold on to it, but what you do there, if you're the 007 and you're pinching a driver, if Brian would have been able to throw that slide job, he would have forfeited all right to be able to counter back underneath as Anthony Morano. He goes up and man, kind of bullies Superman out of the way, and that's a tough break there for Kurt Schatzer. He's been running a pretty good race. He's just letting his teammate kind of go to work, see what he could do, and gets bounced out here. And this isn't, you'll hear me say all the time, when you see the slide job, you got to back out, you got to back out. No way, not here. I mean, there was no way that you were going to fit your car. I mean, you could see right here, middle 3 wide. There's never been a gap for a car one time here since we entered the corner. So this was only going to go one way. Either Anthony kind of had to lift out, or get the elbows out and muscle him up the racetrack. And that's he chose the ladder. And Kurt, you can see, he turned around. He tried to straighten it back up, but got it back up in the fence. And that's where Superman, he's going to bring it down pit road, and I don't know if we're going to see him back out on the racetrack. But now Brian Dickens, Gonna be stuck in the middle of an FTM sandwich here. And, I don't know. You know, I mean, not that that's something Anthony's trying to do for sure. I know him better than that. But now, man, you don't want, and Brian, this is not a, you know, I think Brian's better than this. And if he would make contact, that doesn't mean he's a bad driver anyway. But what I mean is now, you know, he had a security blanket. You know, he had that stuffed animal with him behind him, making him feel comfortable. And now he doesn't have that anymore. And maybe Brian, you know, feels like he's got to get to the lead. Can't be as nice about this thing. And, you know, maybe cost Sam something in that, you know. You couldn't blame the 32, but you could definitely see there how somebody like me could draw the lines as the green flag waves. We're back underway here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Now, Brian, you're going to have to see him too. Yeah, exactly. Going to go up and shut that door, whether you have the momentum or not. Your teammate just got bounced out behind you. There's no way you're going to let these guys drive around you. And, you know, I mean, not that that's a fun talking point, but it's a talking point, and that's just the sad reality. You know, you're going to race guys one way. They're going to make sure and stick up for their teammates and race them back the same way. You know, treat others how you want to be treated. And right now they're going 3-4 wide through 3 and 4. There's, Garrix almost gets into that inside tractor tire. Trevor in that 75 machine on the bottom 3 wide. Nowhere to go. Got to keep it down there for the moment. Brian Dickens trying to reel the 007 back in, but he's got to play some defense. And that's what I said. You know, this is where you're going to get another side of the 122, because before he had the security blanket behind him. Kurt, you could tell that last time, the lap before, probably could have made a move on the 122, but cracked out of the throttle when he was stuck on the inside and let him back in line. He was just playing the team game, and now Brian, he doesn't have that anymore. Coming out of 4, 9 laps to go. Going to have to find a way to pick up the pace here if he wants to make a move for the lead. As the Barber to the outside, 3 wide. Scott Rayom in the middle. What a good run off. And that's maybe gets that thing a little wide. The Barber's got to cut that thing down, look back to the inside. And 8 laps to go here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Brian Dickens searching everywhere he can, but just can't find anything. Can't find the speed to run down your champion here in the 007, or current point leader, excuse me. I keep trying to jinx him for some reason. Not the champion yet, but he's about 6.5 laps away from being able to hold that thing high and crack that whip for the final time this season. Trevor Giroux, he's up 6 spots, up to 13th, but the real hard charger, Randy Shreve, started 17th. Up to 9th, that 56, man. He's always on the move anytime you put that thing on dirt. Dickens floating up against that outside wall, looking for any real estate. The 51, Clay Christopherson, looks to the inside. We got Dino. He's worked his way up into this top 5. Could Dino maybe climb the ladder a couple more rungs? Now, you know, right now he's not going to screw his teammate out of anything, Anthony, because he's in a points battle. But right now the guy he's battling is their other teammate who's way up the road there in P1. So I think Dino, at some point, maybe thinking about taking the gloves off here and trying to talk to us after this thing. Park that thing in the top 3. Sam Bachman at the line. 3 laps to play here, man, at the dirt track at Charlotte. As Sam drives it into 3. Just look, there's that slider line now. I know a little bit. See, it floats up. It's starting to develop. I know a little bit. It took a little longer than I thought it would, but drivers found it, and it's showing it's got some success there through 3 and 4. A lot of them using it. Battle on for P2 here. 2 laps to go. We're going to have 1 to go this time by. White flag flies. Sam Bachman, man, come get that trophy. Dino to the outside, looking for P4. He's driving to the top, trying to get around the Ant-Man. Battle on for P2. Clay Christopherson underneath as we go through 3 and 4 for the final time. Your new champion, Sam Bachman, brings home the checkered flag in style to close the season at the dirt track at Charlotte. Clay Christopherson P2 after a last lap pass, and Brian Dickens able to hold on to that third and final podium spot. Dean Reynolds fourth, and the Ant-Man Anthony Morano rounding out the top five. Boy, oh boy, what a race here, man. These guys, they put it on. They put it on. You got to feel for Superman a little bit because he definitely had some pace, but congratulations to this man, driver of the 007, Sam Bachman, your 358 modified champion. Gonna give these guys a minute or two here to catch their breath and give me a minute or two to find out what I'm clicking on here to give us our replay here tonight. Not many cautions. The boys behaved. So not many start and stop sections for me to want to pick from here this evening. Right now we're just waiting for Brian Dickens, driver of the 122, to find his way on up here. He's really become a standout driver here in the 122. Or in the modified. He's always been in the 122. Geez, what am I saying? Here in the 358 modified, just brought home a couple wins this season, and this is another good run for Brian Dickens. So let's pull him up here. Let's see what he's got to say. Brian, man, hell of a run. These 358 modifieds, man, they've really been your cup of tea this season, brother.
Yeah, man, I had a blast. I thought I was in good shape before that last caution, but after that, I just couldn't get my rhythm back going. But yeah, I had a blast running with these guys.
Yeah, no, obviously, stuff happens on the racetrack, man, but you talked about it, that last caution. I mean, you had your security blanket behind you, man, your teammate there in the 218, and it looked like, you guys both. I mean, he had some pace too, but you guys just both trying to find a way around Sam, and it just seemed like, you needed to be up top unless you were able to throw that slider and just park it on their nose.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, and towards the end of the race, it just got harder and harder and harder to do that. But like I said, great race. Had fun running with these guys all season. Congrats to Sam. And that's about it.
Yeah, Brian, well, man, I'm glad I had you here this season. I got to talk to you a lot, and I got to witness your first 358 modified win. And I told you it wouldn't be long till it happened again. You came back there a couple weeks later, and Brian, I'm telling you, man, everybody better watch out. You're starting to put some time into these things, and you found a new toy you like. I'm really looking forward to you competing for the championship next season, my man.
Yeah, same here, brother. I just want to thank the Dirt Track Bank. Everything they do for us and our team, and dirt track racing in general. Hammer Down Racing, Kurt, BT, and Joe. We've been together for a long time. On Edge Racing, for mostly what we do on the asphalt side, but I want to thank those guys as well. Coast to Coast for putting on this league. It has really turned into a great league to run. I'm having a blast. Thanks for you doing the broadcast. That's about it.
Well,
Appreciate
man,
it.
You got the good sounding of me, man. I left the dentist at around 6:30 Eastern. Oh, boy, my mouth was numb for about the first 40 minutes of this. I did not sound the best, Brian, but you guys did a hell of a job picking up the slack and putting a good show on out there, so I appreciate it. Great run, man. Can't wait to talk to you again.
All right, thanks, brother.
Brian Dickens bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the man who stole it from him on the final lap. Putt. You had a quick car, but it just seemed like it took so many laps down there on the bottom, to get a run that by the time you could get around that guy, you'd almost need a caution to get back up to the guy in front of you. You really had to plug away down there.
Yeah, the cushion was pretty tall up there, and I knew that, but it was more or less for the grip at the end, keeping the tires a little bit cool, hammering up top with minimal cautions is good, but as soon as you get a caution, it might be stalled out. So I was just kind of gambling. I'm all right with the second place. 1 and 2 felt amazing. I kind of kept going down there, and the drive off was really good. 3 and 4, I couldn't find much, so I kind of followed in line if I was right behind somebody.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe those last 2 or 3 laps, I saw a couple people hitting that slider line in 3 and 4. Were you a little surprised? I mean, I was. I kind of threw my neck out on the line. I know sometimes you can run almost through the slick through 3 and 4, but we didn't see much of that tonight, man. It's just a little bit of a different racetrack than normal.
Yeah, it was still very tacky. So if you threw it in there too hard for some of those really hard slider lines, as soon as you hit that tack, you lose all your RPM and you go nowhere. You don't want to break your momentum. So we were all kind of coming into top 3, and then we would drift across to get the top 4. And it was just carrying a lot more momentum without the car being wild.
Well, hey, man, able to flex those muscles, get back into P2 there at the end of the race. Congratulations, Clay. FTM 1-2. Before I kick you out of here and talk to our champion, man, who you want to thank?
You guys for putting this on. All the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block sets.
Well, that was a lot quicker thank you than I thought. I'll quit drinking my drink. Great run, Clay. And, man, are we going to see you in any of the sprint cars tonight, or are you calling it a night?
I think I'm going to call it a night tonight. Back's a little sore, so.
Oh, yeah, carrying that FTM on the podium. I get you.
Yeah, okay.
I can read between the lines. Congratulations, Clay. Good run, man. I look forward to a lot more of these, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Clay Christopherson bringing home P2. Here it goes. I told you it was coming. I almost jinxed you 3 or 4 times tonight. I kept having to stop, Sam, but boy, oh boy, 358 Open champion, man. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good. It was a hard-fought season with Anthony, Clay, and I think Brian was up there too with us.
Yeah, and you know what? I almost forgot you did something here. I got to go back. We got to find the very first lap because now obviously anything can happen, Sam. But what are you thinking? First lap, you're starting on the inside row 3. Did you really think the C's were going to part for you the way they did? And just, man, they left you the bottom. And, dude, that, I mean, obviously, you know, you had a quick race car, but, dude, you get out there, set the pace. That's the move of the race.
Yeah, I didn't, to be honest, really didn't think the bottom was going to be that strong off the rip. So when I took it, I was kind of a little surprised. But when I seen my chance, I took it, I guess.
Yeah, man, and you absolutely ran with it, you know. Well, what do we think the trick is? I mean, I know I hear a lot of you guys sometimes talk about these things take a little bit to get that momentum up. Do you think just going to the outside right away, maybe a little too far around for them? They just didn't have the RPMs up there yet, and that's what you took advantage of?
Yeah, because those starts mean they don't got their momentum built as much. So I knew the bottom was going to have a little bit of grip and a little bit of strength down there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam, you're one of the cleanest drivers I've ever seen. In fact, you know how many times have I given you crap on the broadcast for maybe racing your teammates a little too nice, getting out of the way when you know they're faster. But boy, oh boy, man, that karma came around big, and congratulations, dude. There's nobody else in this race I'd rather say this about, man. I'm so glad you're the champion. Who do you want to thank on a magnificent season?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop. He's really been working hard on the dig all season for us. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, Shaggy U for broadcasting, and Coast to Coast.
Now, how long do we enjoy this one before we worry about coming back and winning again next season?
Well, we gotta focus on a championship on Thursday night, so I'll probably think about that, but I guess probably a week or 2 maybe.
All right, Sam. Well, hey, man, you know I'll be here Thursday, and I'll be rooting you on, brother. Let's see if you can bring home another one. But tonight, it's all about the Open 358s, and you're the champion. Hell of a season. Congratulations, man. And
Thanks, Shaggy.
Well, are you going to run any sprint cars tonight, or are you calling it a night like Clay, too?
I'm probably calling it a night. I ain't really a sprint car guy.
Yeah, I feel you. After you go out there and win, I mean, why would you need to race anymore? Hell of a job, Sam. Congratulations. Can't wait to talk to you again, man.
Thanks, Shaggy.
Sam Bachman, man. The man of few words. I think his teammates would admit to that. He's a man of few words. Doesn't always talk all the time, but when he does, man, you better watch out because he means it. And the 007, Mr. Consistency this year, man, gets it done, brings home a championship. Congratulations to the 007 of Sam Bachman. So what we're going to do is it's going to be a little different than normal. I am just going to shut this stream down. I will actually throw up the credits while I'm bringing up over the other one. So you feel free to leave the stream and go back to the coast to coast part of things. We're going to bring up the last two sprint car races over on the coast to coast side of things. So stick around. Like I say, you can watch the race here. It will be here, but if you want to watch it over on the normal channel, feel free. It's going to be over there. So stick around and we'll be right back.